Hello everybody, welcome back to Cinema Corner. Today I'm doing a solo review of Smile 2, okay? A movie that I did not expect to ever actually come out or even happen because I am a major fan of the Smile franchise. I absolutely loved and adored the first one. So the fact we're getting a second one and, spoiler alert, I loved it, awesome. So I love how the fact that it starts off immediately with what happened to Joel from the previous one. It goes just straight into it, and it shows kind of the fact that he's having kind of just a human response of, shit, man, we're fucked. You know, chat, we're cooked. And he saw, or at least any hope that he can even think in his mind of defeating the Smile being is gone. And instead, he thinks, I think it's kind of a little bit fun using the cop background of saying, how can we have a cop that has lost all hope in defeating the Smile being? How would he want to pass it along? How would he do it? He knows he's going to die, and he knows how it works. What would he do? Because he actually has time to prepare. And we see that. He goes in and he tries to pass it to a drug lord, and then kind of through the drug lord, that's how it gets eventually passed to a druggie that gets passed to our new main character, Skye, played by Naomi Scott, which, hey, DC, Warner Brothers, you need to watch this movie and see how to use a person's talent to their advantage. Because Naomi was used better for her singing ability than Lady Gaga was in Joker 2. How is that possible, man? I don't know. How in a horror movie are we seeing a person with musical talents being used better than an actual musical? Who knows? But let's kind of get into it. So Skye, you know, I gotta give a little mention that she has back problems. I got back problems. I had a back surgery. In fact, she has a scar on her back exactly where I have a scar, so she real run for that. Anyways, let's do a little bit of comparison of the passing of the abilities from Smile 2 to Smile 1, okay? How are they franchising this out, basically? How is the sequel happening, and my kind of thoughts about it. So, Smile 1, we see Rose, it kind of gets passed to through like a patient that she sees. And in this one, instead, it's passed through a person that Skye buys drugs from. Both scenes, super intense. But I think Smile 2 really does got the edge on this one. Mainly because it was a good balance of slow, anxiety kind of driven horror scene and it being gruesome. I mean, him smashing his face in was hard to watch a little bit, but fun. It was fun, and it was a quick saying, once again, we're in this. You know, this movie never fails to balance the speed of the film. You are always entertained, and it allows any dull moments, aka story building, to flow fluently because of either a mix of jump scares or a mix of kind of gruesome scenes to slow pan shots of what's in the fucking dark back there. And we see all of that immediately with Skye getting it passed on to her. So that scene was fun. Her reacting of she pukes and then, you know, later being like, oh shit, man, is there DNA in puke? Love that. And this kind of goes into now the slow build of Skye and her exposure to the Smile being. Rose, there's definitely they kind of went two different paths here. Rose kind of had the more, you know, she actually has a psychiatric social way to investigate the Smile being. Skye kind of has more of just a person approach to this. What would a normal person, I know even though Skye is a pop star, but what would a person without any kind of psychological idea of what could be happening to them approach this. And that's what we kind of get with her. So very different from Rose. Rose was able to investigate the smile being. Rose was able to kind of see it more throughout other patients and kind of have more of, I'd say even a more aggressive approach to it than Skye. Skye felt more of a victim. So I enjoyed that. It made it feel fresh, even though it's following kind of the same path line. And that kind of leads me into some of my more favorite key moments, and as well as more comparisons between the second and first one. One of my kind of more favorite, I guess, characters is Gemma, the best friend for Skye. They use Gemma kind of like how they use Joel and Rose's therapist to show the power of delusion that the smile being has. So Gemma, of course, ends up not even being in the entire film, which was definitely a more extensive approach to delusion than we got with Rose, because Joel obviously was real and was in there, as well as the therapist even was. We just had the scene with the therapist, just, you know, the phone call, and they reused the phone call delusions with that. But because the delusion was even longer this time, they were able to kind of put some little small details that you may have not noticed. One detail was when Skye was sending texts to Gemma. It kind of just seemed like Gemma was ignoring it, and, you know, they're just busy or whatnot, because they made an excuse even that, oh, I'm hanging out with friends. And you see Skye thought that was an odd response, as well as, hey, we're back in a real moment here of Skye. She's not responding, Skye, because she's not real. She hasn't even responded to your phone call. She's still pissed off at you. And I kind of enjoy that. That's one little small detail where it's slowly alluding to it, that then you remember on that, like, oh shit, yeah. And of course, just doing the phone call and just a pan over might just be just a signal of, oh man, you've lost in the Smile franchise. I love that part. I would say another thing is, I mentioned how Naomi was used a lot better than Lady Gaga was in Joker. Man, dude, at this point, I'm like, yo, can we get Skye for real though? The musical scene of where it has just the red, actually they make a full stage, a full actual like dance, and almost a full song that was kind of a hit, is crazy. It felt like the most authentic movie pop star in a movie that I've ever seen. I don't know why it felt so good. I don't know if Naomi was just being that great in the role, or if I'm just that much of a sucker for the Smile franchise I love that much, but it was fun. It was fun, and it helps really make it feel like it is a new story, which is something that is very hard to do in horror movies, you know, because it's still following the same path line. You got to have some lore when it comes to the Smile being. So I think they did a fantastic job of making Skye feel authentic and like a real pop star. Okay, so more few things is I like how it still kind of follows the same timeline of we see the Smile being get a bit more powerful. My favorite moment is the realization that the Smile being can touch you. And at that moment, it always seems like both in Smile 1 and Smile 2, as soon as the being is able to physically touch you, it seems in that scene. For Rose, is when a therapist was touching her face, and in Smile 2 is when the creepy crawlers were doing that. Just, there's like 20, 30 people in her apartment going at her, and they touched her, you know, and slammed her head, gave her a concussion. That was the turning point. I think that's kind of how they're going to, if they make a Smile 3 going forward, is the turning point when the character has lost at this moment. They are going to lose. There's no more hope now. They are fully have control of their mind. Because after that, that's when Rose, things started really getting bad for Rose. And then now for Skye, that's when she gets in the hospital room and everything goes berserk after this. So I kind of enjoy how they use the physical touch to kind of represent that the main character is gone. Okay, this one, instead of Skye finding out for herself what she's dealing with, a character, Morris, gets introduced. Now, is Morris real? I'd like to think that Morris is a real person. However, which is adding kind of to the lore of characters and victims to the Smile being. I think Morris is real, but obviously anything after that scene, the first introduction scene with Morris, is obviously not real. That is completely fake. That's a fun twist. I think it maybe was kind of getting ramped up because now maybe we see the Smile being will react to threat like a parasite, and it ramped things up because that's immediately when the creep crawlers attacked her, all of that. And then we see the mom scene, everything gets faked with that. I enjoy the twist with the Smile because once again, it just does such a good job of building this false hope that the character has any chance to win. And a lot of horror movies, man, they let the main character win or somebody survives. It's just somehow it's such a good thing that they survive, even though they're going to be traumatized for the rest of their life. But in this one, man, bad guy wins. 2 for 2. And I love that for them. Okay. After that, I gotta say, what could the future hold in the franchise? Because the ending, the apocalypse. I mean, my God, her realizing that she's gonna go out on stage, nothing was real, she's fucked up, it wins. We see the creepy return of the actual physical beast come out and then sacrifice Skye in front of tons and tons of people. What's the future like now? And I think this is where I don't know what happens. On one end, I kind of want them to not do anything because, oh my God, man, making a third one for this is impossible, it feels like. You've gone 2 for 2, and as history shows us, man, it is rare you ever go 3 for 3. So I really don't want to miss in this franchise. And how they end it, it's kind of fun. It's like, yeah, it wins. It wins. Well, now you're just left up to imagination of what could happen. Another thing that I think they could do. So here's my 2 theories of what the third one could be. Third one, they kind of say F it, and they do a full apocalypse of now we've seen everyone just got exposed to this. Tons of people are now going to suffer the same fate this guy had, and we're going to see an apocalypse-like level event. My comparison of what they could do, Bird Box. You can't see, you know, a group of individuals are going to have to go together to try to survive. Just pure kind of chaos, but still have that kind of slow, eerie horror element that the Smile franchise has kind of always been anyways. I think that could work. I think it'll be very different from the first 2, but you kind of have to almost with the third one with this, especially how you ended it. You have to kind of, right? I think it can work. I think they can have fun with it, especially with how the directors keep using these movies to just make amazing shots. It will work. Do it. I'd be down for that. See what happens. It might not be good, but I think it's definitely worth a try. And now you got a full fleshed out story of 3 movies, and now you just made an apocalyptic film through it. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. I think the next one is you make a third one, but you make only one person the victim. So everyone just witnessed this event, but man, now we learn the limits to the Smile being that it can only get passed to one body at a time. You know, which would kind of make sense of why didn't it do any like crazy apocalyptic event before this? You know, what's its origin? So it only picks one person, and we go from that horrific shot from the stage, and that fan just gets screwed, and it continues from there. And now you can make a new story and just keep having fun with it, kind of being this fun horror film to come out. You know, nothing too deep. Just kind of keep it going. It kind of turns more into a slasher at that point, right? I think that, yeah, I think that's the most realistic one that's going to happen is we learn the limit of the smile being and its exposure. I think that's what's going to happen. I would love for it to be more, but I think that's how they're actually going to go. Be cool if they went crazy and did full apocalypse like Bird Box. Overall, though, I gotta say it does a great job at balancing jump scares and of course the intense anxiety-driven slow pan shots to scenes. And overall, of course, the story's great. It also adds some good extra gore, I'd say, in this film compared to the first one. And it just delivers another solid addition to this franchise and this universe that I am hopeful it's not the end. I really am. As much as I want to say don't actually make a third one, of course, if they make a third, I'm gonna see it. So that's why I'm gonna give it the exact same grade as the first Smile. I give it an 8.6 out of 10. I mean, really, the only few things I think that they could have done a better job of is give me some lore of the Smile being. You know, we got some from the first one. You know, we're seeing how it's even passing others. You know, we see Rose investigate. We didn't get any of that really at all in this one, which was a little disappointing to me because I am a sucker for how do you create the story behind this being that you made up, writers and directors. Give me something, but you didn't give me anything really. We just got Morris, and Morris was a short 5 to 10 minute scene. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Please let me know if you've seen this movie or what you think about this movie. I am very hopeful it does well. There wasn't that many people when I saw it in theaters, but I'm seeing on TikTok people are liking it, so it'd be crazy if people on TikTok actually went to the theaters for it. So thank you guys, and see you next time.